Local FBI has released a statement. Well, some employees leaked it, and it's that QAnon is a domestic terrorist threat. I've known this for several years. I had a coworker in 2013 at Cracker Barrel who, by 2014 or probably late 2013, was telling me QAnon style BS like Pizzagate, as well as Trump was running and picking Pence and chemtrails and flat Earth, all kinds of crazy things, but mixed in with sophisticated political knowledge of future events, even in my town. And she showed me a Facebook picture with emoticons underneath it and ad space above it and said, "This is what Facebook would look like in 2016." And the ad space was for when my town made national news. And the story it was the emoticons were under was about Syria. And that did seem like the first set stage for Trump Putin. And I wasn't sure if he was just his preference at the time, but watching how he's behaved over the few years, like I feel like even people like Homer Clapper, like former FBI and CIA, give him too much credit to say he's just being that they are playing his mental illnesses like narcissism. Maybe there is a Trump Tower Moscow. Well, we know there was Trump Tower Moscow. Would that be behind all of it? Like we've seen how he's reacted even to his crowd size. Like he does have a problem, but I feel like he could, he knows when to play it and when not to. And this is just I've worked with crazy people. This is how you tell it, like when they're being genuine, when it's their own shortcomings, and when it's you know a convenience for them, so they do it anyways. And like, it's just how he is. He is a man who, even describing his own daughter sexualizes her, and like he bragged about grabbing women by the pee. He bragged about watching underage girls and dress as pageants, and all this Pizzagate's being spread by his, you know, Russian allies and National Enquirer allies, and they are laying the groundwork like they do. And he was calling his lawyer a rat, and the Democrats the party of crime. Like it's as he's going against all law enforcement. It's to create a field where that the same thing we do is horrible, it's stupid, it's equating both sides. Like right after that white supremacist code, yet another. We're not talking about Heather Heyer, not talking about the Silk, mosque shooting. I'm talking about synagogue shooting. I'm talking about El Paso. Much like with Dylan Roof, he was inspired by hate, and it was coming from the top and the bottom. And Russia's faced no consequences for what they've done to us. In fact, they've created a lot of assets, got the sanctions lifted by their asset Trump, and created these little domestic terrorist groups like QAnon. They are meant to just spread hate, spread BS, and be a tool for these people who have been compromised by gaslighting or coercion or both. And they are a threat, and they are, everywhere. And if you are right wing, you're especially susceptible to them as they feed you what you want to hear. They tried the same with me, but I do critical analysis, and I was very disappointed by these conspiracy sites she was talking about, or like she showed me a thread or two, and I went to my on my own time, and I was like, they aren't looking at details or coincidences or anything like that. They are hating, like they are mad that Fox News is only implying that black people are the problem to everything. So they want to go to this site that also calls them like shapeshifters, like they used to do to the Jews. Just like anything bad that's happened to you, it's the minority you hate. Like they got one for black, gay, Muslim, everybody. Like they're universal for bigotry, and that's another quality of the mass shooters. Like schools, sometimes it's a bullying aspect. The only other mass shootings is really gang violence, poverty. Uh, it's not this manifesto type crowd. This is the white nationalists. This is the Oklahoma guy. This is what they do. The Las Vegas guy. They like Sandy Hook. They if it doesn't fit their narrative afterwards, they'll just say, like Alex Jones does, that's a crisis. Like with Seth Rich and Hannity, like he'll just blame, the victim, and the dead can't speak for themselves, so the parents have to sue to get this horror stopped, and they do lose in court because they are liars, and then they say their personalities, but people go back and drink that same Kool-Aid, and at a certain point we just can't allow it.